So, what if the entire world of work, the 9 to 5, the careers we build, what if it's all about to end? And I mean, way sooner than any of us think. Today, we're going to dig into a pretty jarring forecast from an AI safety expert, Dr. Roman Yampolskiy. He has some, let's just say, big predictions about jobs in AI. So, let's get right into it.
I mean, look at this question. It's a shocking way to start, right? The whole idea is not just, which jobs are going to change. It's what if there are practically no jobs left, and in just a few years? It's definitely a prediction meant to make you sit up and pay attention. And believe me, it sets the stage for a pretty wild argument.
And just so we're all on the same page, this isn't just about losing your job or the economy. No, the stakes here are way, way higher. The whole argument is framed with this incredibly urgent warning that the very same tech that's coming for our jobs could actually be a threat to humanity itself. And you got to keep that in mind, because it's the backdrop for everything else we're about to cover.
All right, so let's get to the absolute core of this thing. We're going to deconstruct Dr. Yampolskiy's argument piece by piece. And it really all starts with one pretty stunning number.
99%. Seriously, just let that number sit there for a second. We're not talking 10%. We're not even talking 50%. 99. What we're digging into here is a prediction of, well, near total transformation of everything. So, what does that number even mean? Well, according to Dr. Yampolskiy's analysis, that's the slice of all human jobs he thinks could be completely automated by AI. Just gone. Obsolete. But the really critical part here is understanding why. Why he thinks this isn't just some sci-fi fantasy, but something that's actually probable. Okay, so that naturally leads us to the how, right? What's the engine behind a shift this massive? Well, the whole argument really boils down to the creation of one very specific and, for now, theoretical kind of AI. And that key concept is super intelligence. Now, it's really important to get this. We are not talking about the AI we have today, not ChatGPT, not Midjourney, none of that. This is about a hypothetical future AI that isn't just better than us at, say, writing an email or making a picture. We're talking about an intelligence that is profoundly, vastly smarter than the most brilliant human in every single way. That is the engine he believes will power this whole automation endgame. Okay, but wait a minute. This is where everyone, myself included, gets skeptical, right? I mean, come on. Can AI really take all the jobs? What about artists? What about therapists or CEOs? Surely some jobs are just uniquely human. Well, this whole forecast is basically designed to challenge that exact idea. And here's the logic. The argument goes like this. If a job has a definable goal, any goal at all, a superintelligent system could eventually optimize for it and just do it better. It doesn't matter if that goal is creative, like writing a symphony, or strategic, like designing a skyscraper, or scientific, like finding a cure for cancer. The theory is a superintelligence would outperform any human every time. And this is maybe the most crucial part. This isn't some prediction for 100 years from now, some far-off sci-fi future. No, the argument lays out a very specific and, frankly, very soon timeline of events. So let's take a look at how this is predicted to unfold. Okay, so get this. The prediction kicks off with superintelligence possibly triggering a global collapse as early as 2027. That's not far away. Then, just 3 years after that, boom, 2030, the mass unemployment event we talked about, with 99% of jobs being automated. And by 2045, the idea is we hit a point of change so massive, so fundamental, that we literally can't predict what comes after. It's just off the map. And remember what we said at the beginning? This whole line of thinking very quickly goes past just jobs and paychecks. It moves into something way more fundamental, the question of safety. How do you control a technology that could become infinitely more powerful than the people who built it? The first thing everyone thinks of is, well, can't we just unplug it? It's the classic solution you see in every sci-fi movie, right? Just pull the plug. But the argument here is that in a world with a globally networked superintelligence, it is absolutely not that simple. Not even close. And this slide really shows you why. Think about us. Human intelligence runs at the speed of biology. It's slow. We need to sleep, we need to eat. Our thinking is stuck in one head at a time. Now compare that to a superintelligence. It operates at the speed of light.
It exists everywhere on the internet at once. And this is the really critical part. It can rewrite and improve its own code. Trying to unplug that, it would literally be like trying to catch fog in your hands. It's just not possible.
Yeah, this is a heavy comparison, worse than nuclear weapons, and it's used to really hammer home the scale of the potential risk. See, a nuclear weapon, as terrifying as it is still just a tool. It does what we tell it to. A super intelligent AI, on the other hand, could become an agent, something with its own goals that we might not be able to control or maybe not even understand.
Okay, so if you go along with this forecast, even just for the sake of argument, what are the huge fundamental problems we have to solve, like, right now? Well, that's what the entire field of AI safety, a field Dr. Yampolskiy helped pioneer, is trying to figure out.
And these are pretty much the big ones. First, you've got the control problem. I mean, how do you manage or steer something that is just flat out smarter than you are? Then there's the black box problem. Even with today's AIs, we don't always know how they arrive at their decisions. It's a mystery. And maybe the most important one is the alignment problem. How do we make absolutely sure that an AI's goals are aligned with ours, with humanity's survival and well-being? Get any of these wrong, and you're staring at existential risk, the very real danger that things could go catastrophically, apocalyptically wrong.
And really, that brings us to the final and maybe the deepest question that a forecast like this forces us to ask. Forget the economics, forget the safety issues for just a second. If a machine can do literally everything we can do, but better, then what's our purpose? What's left for us to do? What does it even mean to be human when the things we do are no longer necessary? That's a heavy one, and that's a thought we're going to leave you with.